I want to recognize our ranking member on the full committee, Mrs. Lofgren, for a comment as well.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and for today's hearing. The topic is very important for our work here in the Science Committee and the Federal Science, Technology, and Innovation Enterprise. As we know, China is making unprecedented investments in research and development across science and technology, and space is a core component of their strategy. They represent a real threat to the United States' long history as the undisputed global leader in space. And it's critical that we understand the PRC's current capabilities, their plans, as well as their strategic objectives. At the same time, it's also critical that we redouble our commitment to supporting and stewarding a strong, robust space program that continues to push the boundaries in Earth and space science, in human spaceflight exploration and space technology development. You know, in the very first Science Committee hearing in this Congress, we heard from expert witnesses about the state of U.S. science and technology, and that China was actually leading in 37 of 44 critical technologies. In my remarks at that hearing, I said we couldn't ignore the reality outside the four walls of this hearing room. The new administration was actively and with unprecedented speed and ferocity, apparently seeking to tear down and undermine some of the very scientific foundations upon which our leadership has been so painstakingly built. Now we're here 10 months later, and the administration has not relented in its destructive endeavors. The U.S. science and technology enterprise continues to take blow after blow. NASA and the space enterprise has not been spared. This summer, the administration launched a pressure campaign of intimidation against the entire NASA civil servant workforce, and now the agency has lost nearly 4,000 people, over 20% of its civil servant workforce, and there doesn't seem to be a strategy in determining who should leave and who should stay. And just over the last couple of months, largely under the cover of a government shutdown, NASA has been rushing to shutter nearly half of the Goddard Space Flight Center's main campus. I simply do not understand how anyone reconciles rhetoric about competing with China while pulling the rug out from under our own research enterprise. I don't want to speak for our witnesses, but I expect that we are about to hear that China is not culling its talent and technical capabilities, that it's not undermining its universities and turning the world's brightest minds away. Yet, that is what our federal government is being forced to do today by really an out-of-control White House and OMB. Congress needs to step up to the bat. The clock's ticking. As this administration continues to cripple our science and technology enterprise, China is deliberately and systematically implementing long-term plans. Now, I have no doubt that all of us on both sides of the aisle serving on this committee want to ensure U.S. leadership in space. But words are cheap and actions are priceless. It's up to us on this committee and in Congress to take the necessary actions that will sustain our global leadership in space and in science and technology more broadly. Anything less is an invitation to let China take the mantle in space and in so much more. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I thank you and I yield back.